Hello everyone. I'd like to share another journal. This one's been finished for a while. I was just behind with videos. The cover is a folder from France that dates from 1875, which is 145 years old. It measures 8 and 3/4 inches wide by 11.5 inches high by 1 1/4 inch spine. I have the front and back cover of this folder. I didn't add much. I didn't add much. Yes, I just love the label. And here you see where it says from 1875 to, but there's no date. I added these decorative corners on the front and back. The spine is one that I made. Oops. The spine is one that I made because the original one is barely 1/2 inch, which you'll see later in the journal. It has 4 hand stitch signatures for a total of 116 pages, and the digitals I've used are Love Junk journals, some random number labels, Old Design Shop number tags, tailor-made journals. I used Impressions of Nature, Botanicals, Forbidden Fruit and Vintage Fruits and Vegetables. Also some echo prints from Rosemary Morris. And here I'll explain this flap. Once I completed the journal, the way the ledger sheets were attached was with this metal fastener. And when you turn your pages and wanted to close the book, the edge would catch on these metal fasteners and with time would damage the edge of the sheet. So I chose to include this flap, which does come off. And here I added, it's an envelope from France with the original stamps. I've covered the return label and my information. Lots of fussy cutting again in this journal. Here's the back of the envelope. And inside the envelope, I have some ephemera. Also, if you can see inside the envelope, it's a map, which is really neat. And I'll just put this back here for when I want to turn the pages. I'm having a hard time with my paper clip. There we go. So in this envelope, I have, this is a copy of a letter dated 1897 from France. And here is a report card. Also, again, this is a copy that I scanned. I scanned the original. And if I can get the report card out. There's a report card dated 1933-34, the school year 1933-34. So the first, I wanted to show you how the ledger sheets were kept in this folder. I have one here. This ledger sheet is dated 1877, and it was attached to the fastener here. And here is your spread of the ledger. And of course that beautiful handwriting, and it's just so fine. If you can see it, it's unreal. And it's the first time I see a ledger sheet with all blue lines. This goes further in the journal. I think I touched the camera. There we go. Okay, so the first signature. Here is a pocket that I made with, I purchased a ledger with these ledger sheets, and there was the tabs, so I chose one of the tabs and I made a pocket with it, with some fussy cutting. And here is a part of the original spine for this folder. This is Rosemary Morris echo prints, some little tickets and bits, and this is Tim Holtz packaging, which I love to use, and I made a notebook out of it. When you work with these large size covers, it's not easy to find items, paper to put, but luckily I managed. Here is the page of the Ladies' Home Journal for May 1907. Here is onion skin paper, which I've hinged because of the size, and this is eco print paper from Rosemary Morris, and the thread that I used has red, green, blue, and a yellow mustard in it. This is from an architectural book that I just love that I have. I chose the sports and games page where it shows you how to set up for a cricket, polo, curling, running track, bowling, shuffleboard, squash, croquet. This is the spine of the Standard Encyclopedia of Horticulture that I have, one of my favorite books. The spine fell off, or the cloth spine fell off. So I scanned it and I made a bookmark out of it with one of Tim Holtz's little clips here. Tea stained paper. Here is a class envelope, and this is from that encyclopedia. I tried to match, here's a turnip, so I fussy cut this turnip, and this is from Tailor-Made Journals. And inside here, again, fussy cutting, Tailor-Made Journals. I chose these receipts because they're duplicates, and they have the red duplicate. There's the E.H. Lingo, here's the Owl Drug Company, and here is another plain one here with this cute little clip of a ladybug. This journal is sold, and the lady that, oh, I have to fix that corner. Lady that purchased it loves ladybugs. Here I have a writing pad, and this is Tim Holtz die cut. This idea I got from Rosemary Morris. I cut a flinch card in two so it holds down your paper. Some fussy cutting and just collaging. Here again, the clove. I was able to get fussy cut a clove from Tailor-Made Journals. The other side of that architectural page, and here we have some trap shooting. Over here it's all about basketball courts. The other side of that onion skin paper. And this journal. Here is a flap. The lady that purchased the book in her in my brother, the garage used to belong to my brother-in-law, and she found a couple of time cards, and what I like about this one is my date of birth. Not the year, but the date. So I included that in there, which is scan. It's a scan copy. The second signature. Here is, this is a drawing paper that I've sewn two together to create this pocket. I got this idea from Johnny at the Junk Journal shop, and there's the leftover of that spine from this folder, a layaway card and layaway envelope from my Etsy shop. There's also lots of that tape that I like to make that looks vintage. Here is from a vintage French dictionary, and there's a mountain ash, and I was able to match it up here with some fussy cutting. What's nice is you can use these large ledger sheets that I have, and I made a pocket with some collage. That's from the old design shop. Yeah. This is from Tailor-Made Journal, and I made some journaling paper. This is one of her newest digitals. This envelope I made, I purchased a book on how to make flies for salmon fishing, and I made an envelope, and inside are some bird cards. Again, these are from Tailor-Made Journal. I live on the Restigouche River in northern New Brunswick, and it's world-renowned for its salmon fishing, which is why I wanted that book. In this side pocket, here is a rice paper, and that skeleton leaf was part of it. I just put some paper to make it thicker and hefty. Here is a newspaper print bag from my Etsy shop. inside I have a couple of journaling sheets. These are from TaylorMade Journal, and this is where I had this ledger sheet from this folder. The other side of that ledger sheet, again, these are from TaylorMade Journal. Also these drilling cards, vegetables. Here there's no connection, but fussy cut of a dandelion. Here, just for interest. Here is an old, from an adding machine, print. I did some fussy cutting. The 2 holes were there. You'll see later it came with some invoices that I purchased. And I made a little journaling tag with it. In this pocket here, I have a time card, repair tag, alteration tag, also from my Etsy shop. The time card is both in French and English. The third signature. This is also a ledger sheets that I have. And just to show how big it is, I'm still missing a top portion of this ledger sheet. And in the book, I found one order form that I scanned, and I print front and back to go with this ledger sheet, which is an original. And it dates from 1907. It starts in 1907. There's no company that comes with it that I can find, unfortunately. Here I have this little flap, and I have to show you, this is what was on the spine on this folder. See that information? It's the same information that is on the label. So I've scanned that label and this part here to use in the future. And then when you open up this, I have pockets. These are little tags from the old design shop. These are Tim Holtz. This was in a Happy Mail, Australia Fair Shopping Centre, 3 hours free parking. From, looks like, looking for a year. Can't see it. Add it in there. Another, from that vintage French dictionary. And here is the Malva, and I managed to find a flower to go there to match it. Here is a deposit envelope for a financial institution. I hid the name, and also here and inside I have some journaling paper. And over here, here is a title search library card from my Etsy shop. And this is a library publisher's, it's to keep track of magazines that are purchased. I took those out of my Etsy shop. They were not selling, so I try to include some. Here is fussy cutting, but it does. There's no match to the dictionary page. This is where you can use these nice big ephemera pieces from the 1900s, a French check. Okay. The other side of that large ledger. The index tabs didn't make it through. They're all broken off. And the last signature. Oops. Here again, this is from my Etsy shop. It's a magazine borrower's library card. And this is a library borrower's card in Spanish, again, that I had in my Etsy shop, and I took them out because they were not selling, and try to include them in all my journals. Here is a page from the Needlecraft magazine from 1926. This is an original page. They're selling books. And in that magazine, I found the subscription. This is a copy. 1 year was 50 cents and 3 years was $1. Here is vintage wallpaper. It's very brittle on the edges here. Some pieces will fall off with time, that's sure. But it's this side that I love. It's 10 cents per single roll. And if you make a room 8 by 10, you need 4 rolls at $1.70. It's unreal. Just love it. These, there's shadow. These are ledger cards that I really like, which is different. And I purchased from the junk journal shop. And this one dates 1916-17. And what I like is that little tab with number. Oops, that little tab with number, which is different. And when you open it up, this side is empty. And I've made a little pocket here. There's stamps with birds, plants, flowers, and butterflies. And on this side, to cover up where I put that bread, I have this glassine envelope, which is vintage. I didn't, and inside here, if I can get them all out, I have here, it's a watch part made in Switzerland, and that little, there's a part in there. Inside here, this little envelope, I have some tabs that can be used throughout the journal. Here is a coin collector's envelope, and it's so brittle, I had to put some tape. And inside I put a Canadian penny, which is no longer in circulation. We have no longer pennies in circulation. And in this little glassine envelope, I put some additional paper clips. There's the other side. I hinged 2 of these wallpaper sheets. Here's the other side. This is watercolor paper. Again, that I sewed 2 sheets together to create this pocket. And with this invoice, dated 1939. That's where you saw the adding machine receipt or printout, and I liked it because of the yellow. That picks up that yellow there. Here's the back of the cover that I didn't want to touch. And there you go. So that's my latest journal. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.